good evening. Welcome, Mr. White. Viewers, we have a special guest on today. Thank you for tuning in. We have Mr. White here today. He's going to give us some sort of inspiration and a little window about who he is. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a great pleasure to be here, an honor as well.
Yes. In recent times, I had a series where I was interviewing entrepreneurs and I was trying to find out from them, what was their experience in starting off, what came up with, how did they come up with the idea, and how they were coping during the pandemic. And you were a long-standing guest that I have been waiting to have on this. So here we are. So please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your life. What do you do?
Hi, my name is Dean White, and I'm from the beautiful island of St. Lucia. I am a tennis coach slash PE teacher. I ran my own tennis academy when I was down in the islands. Now I'm here in Atlanta, working with this company, still running tennis. I've been teaching for over 3 decades. I start kids at the age of 3 years old, 3 to 93.
Whoa!
Yes, and I'm certified high performance. I can teach anybody, a total beginner. I love the game. The game loves me because it has kept me going for so long. Tennis has become my lifelong passion.
Very nice, very nice. So, Dean, what brought you to tennis of all the other things that you could have got into or started? What drove you? What's the story behind you getting into tennis and it becoming your passion?
The story behind my tennis starts this way. I was 13 years old and I was a fat boy. Yes, believe it or not, Coach Dean was fat, yes. Fat boy struggling, and what I realize now that being at that age, you struggle with confidence because, all the guys are getting the girls and I wasn't really into girls because girls wasn't really into me. So, my confidence was pretty low. So my friend VJ, Valence James, he's a jock, he's a sports guy, and he was getting all the girls. And I'm like, I want to be like that guy. And so I got into basketball, started losing the weight. Then VJ and I decided to try tennis. We got pallets. We laid it across this empty parking lot. And then we made our rackets out of wood. We had a tennis ball with no hair on it. Wow. And we would watch tennis with Wimbledon, US Open. And that was my first lesson into visualization. We would go do what we saw from these Grand Slam tournaments. And one Sunday afternoon, after sweating, playing for hours upon hours, I had the greatest confidence that any fat little boy can get. And I realized to myself, wow, this game makes me feel good about myself. And it also made me realize that I was not so much of a team player. I was more of an individual player. So tennis was right up my alley. Tennis gave me the confidence that I had as a fat, chubby kid. And then I decided, you know what, this is what I was going to do because of the feeling that I got. So I remember, I can never forget this. We got an opportunity to have a real racket. And that was it. It was a white Slazenger racket. And we discovered a real tennis court that was Palm Beach, where Sandals Halcyon is, where their parking lot is in the back there for their staff and where they have all their flowers and stuff, plants and stuff in the back there. That's where it was, that tennis court. And that was it. I would play there almost all the time with the guys, with David St. Omer and a whole bunch of other guys. They would welcome me in, and I just took it from there. I left high school. I left high school with the intention to make tennis my life, my career. So I went to work at the St. Lucia Racket Club as a groundsman because I wanted to learn the game from the ground up. From the ground, literally from the ground up. So I cleaned 7 tennis courts every day for the members to come over and play, have it ready, have it nice and pristine, not even a pebble to be left on the court. And I would be cleaning the drains while watching these guys play, pretending it's me. And that I was in heaven just to be able to be around tennis at such an early stage. Then I met Gary Sweetnam, Stephen Marcel, Mr. John Easter, and I got the opportunity to learn the game, learn how to string rackets, learn how to learn the tennis court, the dimension of a tennis court and how it works, how to run tournaments and all that good stuff. And then Mr. Marcel realized my passion. He took me under his wing and he gave me an opportunity to become a coach first. So I learned to teach the game before I could play the game, which was an absolute blessing because I had to learn the rudimentary fundamentals of the game. And that was absolute fun. I felt really good about it, teaching the kids. And then I became certified. Mr. Marcel helped me to become certified. And the rest is history. And I'm here 3 decades later at the top of my game. I transformed myself into a player, from a coach to a player, because one has to be able to play with the advanced players when you do come across them. And as your students get better, what you want them to do. So that happened. And I got a chance to travel to Argentina, thanks to the Sinoshi Tennis Association. I got a chance to travel to different islands. I got a chance to go to Argentina to do a high-performance tennis course. And tennis just doors started to open, and the floodgates.
The floodgates,
Oh
my
the
God.
Floodgates.
The floodgates,
That's
amazing.
And then
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I traveled the world doing tennis, teaching tennis. And I always said to myself that a real tennis pro is one who works for himself. And so I had a cushy job at Sandals, grand, as a tennis pro, but I felt I could have done more with myself and not just sit there and wait for guests to come to play tennis. So I left Sandals after many months. And in between that, I had Sandals allow me to bring 1 or 2 kids over to teach tennis on their property. But then I really wanted to work for myself because I felt that was the true meaning of a tennis pro, to be able to run your own tennis academy or run your own tennis program, like Mr. Marcel did, Gary Sweetnam, and Mr. John Easter. And I left Sandals. I left my cushy job to go teach tennis on my own.
On your own?
So, yes. So I had 1 client, never forget this, I had 1 client, Thibaut Bain was my first client. I was over at the landing. We went over to the landings to play. And then I was approached by the manager who says that no tennis pros allowed on the property because the general manager will have a knips if he finds out that there's a tennis pro here, when these 2 courts are for the homeowners. But then 1 phone call was made on my behalf, and that was revoked. And let me tell you, again, tennis.
Right. That would have been one of my questions, which you just answered. What was one of the challenges you faced in the beginning of branching out on your own? So you just outlined it, which was very good.
Yeah, I was challenged that, I wasn't wanted at the landings to begin with. I wasn't needed or wanted at the landings.
Why you think is that? Why do you
because and I understood because they had 2 courts.
Right.
And these 2 courts were for the homeowners. So there has to be availability. Tennis courts had to be made available for the
Right.
homeowners when
Okay.
they wanted to play.
Right.
So
right.
that I understood. Respectfully, I understood that. And I was able to work something out with them
Right.
that I would give them 20% and I keep 80% of
Right.
whatever I made. And that was it. I was on my own, and I went to register my my tennis academy,
Company. Mm-hmm.
Totaltennisclub, and it was very successful. I
It
went from
still is.
and still is, yes. I went from 2 clients to 50 clients. Yeah, and then I left the landings because it got even more difficult a few years later. They lowered their commissions. They raised their commission to 70-30, and they made it extremely difficult. The general manager at the time there, made it the new general manager there at the time made it very difficult because he was revenue driven, and they wanted a little more revenue coming from different areas, and I couldn't I couldn't fulfill their wishes. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
then took my academy to the National Tennis Center,
Yes.
where it opened me up to the local clientele. Not like I didn't have any locals at the landings, but more locals were
More
able to find
have
themselves,
access. Have
have
access to you.
access to
Mm-hmm.
these to tennis. And the National Tennis Center is a public facility. So it
Right.
was and I was happy to work with the people at the National Tennis Center to
Right.
really boost tennis. So I was happy. When they say there's a saying that every disappointment is a blessing.
It's a blessing. Yes. 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 I'm
So
familiar with that saying.
so it was a complete blessing
Right.
for me that I was faced with challenges at the landings, and then I had to move again, but I moved for better.
Right. Right.
And in between that, I would travel every summer to New York as a tennis director,
Right.
running a tennis program in upstate New York.
Right.
So I really expanded my international teaching, and it was fun. I spent 10 years teaching tennis, running a tennis program in New York.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
successful program as well. And now I'm in Atlanta
Right.
doing the same thing with great success.
Awesome, awesome. Very inspiring story from where you started, where you are now. And I'm very happy and excited that the business is still successful and growing. So having said that, during the COVID time, the pandemic, did you have any major challenges regarding reaching your clients reaching you? Was there a
Yes.
pause? Let's run us through what you went through during the pandemic.
When again, tennis opened the door for me because many years before the pandemic, I worked with Mrs. Myrtle Murray,
Right.
the director of the Montessori International School.
Right.
And that when I did tennis with her, and she wanted help with her playground at the school. So I offered my service to her. I went over to check out what was going on her playground.
Right.
And before you know it, 7 years later, I'm the PE sports director or PE teacher at the Montessori school.
Yes.
And when the pandemic hit, I was able to continue my livelihood through physical education online.
Right.
With the students. So I was very proactive with the school, and I'm so grateful to even still have an alliance with the Montessori Center.
Right.
And that gave me an opportunity to, because of my sporting background, physical education came natural.
Right.
So physical education was easy for me to teach because of tennis. So I got more knowledge. I did a bit of a home study, home course on physical education.
Right.
I educated myself a lot more. Mrs. Murray helped me. I read, I did my own personal studying and got more knowledgeable, properly knowledge on teaching physical education. And it was very successful. And again, it was thanks to tennis that was, that
Open the doors.
opened
Yes,
the doors
yes,
for me to still remain in sports and
yes,
teaching
yes, yes.
sports. So
Yes.
that's what happened during the pandemic. I
Pandemic.
was teaching
Yes.
PE online,
Online. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it was a big change.
Yes, yes. I was
It
just
was
coming
a
to say there
huge
was
change.
so much compromise, and you have to have, a backup plan. Like how do you work this out? A lot of people had to really think, how can you still have business, have a livelihood during this pandemic? So I'm happy that you went the online route and you still use the online route, correct?
Well, I'm no longer the PE teacher.
Oh, okay, okay. But
Yeah, I'm no longer the PE teacher at the school.
at the school. Oh, so that was just for that particular school.
I'm still, yeah, it was only for that particular school.
Right,
I mean, I'm still affiliated with the school
right.
in a different capacity, but not physical education.
Okay. I got you. I
They
got
have a
you.
physical education teacher now. But I'm still working with the school
Right, right.
indirectly.
So the next question I have for you, Mr. White, is that you mentioned you start as young as 3 years to 92, correct?
Yeah, 3 to
3 years to
92.
92. So give me a day in the life of a tennis coach of a challenging client, because a child as opposed to an adult, they both can be difficult. So if you can remember one of your not so great days, walk us through
Well,
as a tennis coach.
I cannot say, to be honest with you, Tracy, I cannot say that I've had not so great days because one of the things that I learned on my way in life, through life, is to turn my negative into a positive.
Yes, 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 yes.
One of the attributes that I discovered, I made a little self-discovery and realized that, hey, life is all about working with the negative, but changing it to your positive.
Right.
So
right.
when I do get kids who are or adults who are difficult,
Mm-hmm.
I change it around.
Right, right.
I make it a little more fun, make it a little more creative, and realize that it forced me into being creative. Because as a teacher, one of the things I learned as a teacher and a coach, that there is never a difficult situation. With all that knowledge, with all the fundamentals,
right.
You can't go wrong with fundamentals.
Right.
Let's look at the word fundamentals, which begins with fun.
Yes.
So with that being said, I applied fundamentals. I applied all the knowledge that I have acquired through all the years, and I made a bouillon of it, and I made it into my bouillon of information and creativity to get to kids. Because I understand the different character types of people. I understand the arrogance of certain people, and and it's not their fault. It's the insecurities and their whatever their internal dialogue and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So all that I pay attention to, because what I did, again, I did some self-study
right
of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
So I brought myself to learn
right
the psyche of the mind, the brain, how it works. And I did that all on my own. No one told me. I studied. I fell in love with psychology, and the behavioral patterns of people, which intrigued me, and because I found myself watching, growing up, and I'm watching everybody. I'm watching things, and I'm watching how people behave, and watching, and that gave me the interest to study the mind and how people work. So I understand, you know, and of course the rule of a nation begins in a home. So when your home doesn't have a firm hand, I become that firm hand.
Right.
Yes. When your home doesn't have that support, I become that support.
Right.
And you can tell through the kids, like one kid a few days ago, it wasn't listening. And I came up with the idea of, all right, every ball you hit over, you get 1 minute extra iPad time.
Right.
And she zoned in. She was like,
the screen time is king. Screen time is king, you know, in this age.
Yes. The screen time, it replaces the pacifier.
Oh Lord, yes.
You know,
But
so
at that point in time, it served a purpose for you.
Yes, it did, because I realized, okay, this kid who is highty flighty, I'm sure when she's in front of the iPad, she is super
focused,
in,
yes, engaged,
right?
super focused, engaged.
And I was right, because the minute I said iPad time, the light bulb came on.
Yes, shape up, yeah.
What? Okay, so she started listening, and you know, and like I told the parents, these new age parents, they escape parenting with the iPad.
Yes. Sad but true. That's the ugly truth.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
So unlike you and I, when we were raised we were forced to go outside and be in by 6 o'clock, washed up and get ready for supper, so we can be in bed by 8.
Structure and boundaries.
Right.
Structure and boundaries.
Yeah, these 21st century babies are very lucky.
I'm telling you.
I don't know how lucky they are, but they're definitely not how we were raised.
Well, for me, I would choose how we were raised any day. I would choose us any day, because the individuals that we have developed into, compared to those, when you see them, it's a vast difference.
Well, and it's not their fault. Like I told one parent, it's not your fault. It's the age of the time.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's true.
Technology is on the forefront. Technology is on the forefront of our lives.
Yes, yes.
You know, more than ever, you know. But thanks to certain technologies that we were able to continue classes online.
Right, right.
You know, school online.
Right.
You know, kids are able to call their parents if they're late to pick them up.
Right.
You know, so you know, so it has its advantages. You know, technology has its advantages. You know, parents are able to keep track of their kids through their new watches and phones, see where they are, you know. So it has, and then they're able to research.
Right.
You know, get instant research. Unlike you and I, we had to go through the encyclopedia. Remember that?
Remember that? That was the times. Let me tell you, encyclopedia.
We had to go through the encyclopedia.
That was our, source of information. That was our reference. That was our
we couldn't copy and paste. We had to write.
Right, manual, right.
Yes.
The good old days. Good old days. Now we just
we had to transfer the information, and we had to write it. Right? Not copy and paste.
You can just talk to Google it, and boom, you just speak and Google gives you the. Let me tell you how time has changed. So yes, Dean. So, your story is very inspiring, like I said, and the listeners, we have listeners not only from the Caribbean, but we have worldwide listeners. So some of the terms that you're using, be mindful to break it down and explain it a little bit. And so I also wanted to ask you, what advice or guidance, should I say, you can give to people who are thinking of branching out on their own? They're currently working, or they have this idea, this passion, and they need a leap. They need a nudge, Dean, to branch out on their own and finally start living the life that they want to. As an entrepreneur, what guidance, from your experience, what guidance can you offer them?
The guidance I offer is, don't look for the money. Do it because you love it. The money will come.
They always have a barrier.
The money will follow.
They keep talking about the money.
Yes, the money will become a hindrance if you don't see. I had one client and a bucket of balls, and then I had two clients and a basket of balls. Then I had 5 clients and a trolley of balls. So it's a really graduated length method.
Right, right.
And once you understand that, once you understand the graduated length method of how things of how the process unfolds,
right,
then you are in good shape. But if you're looking for the money, it's not about the money, baby. It's not about the money.
It's not about the money. Yes, yes.
Not about the money.
Very good, very deep. You know, Dean,
it's about the passion. If you have the love for something, money cannot replace that, because when it's not happening, when that thing is not happening and or money's not coming in, do you still lose that focus? Because I spent a lot of time studying, getting better, improving my teaching, raising my confidence, my teaching confidence even more, greater and greater, by studying the game, studying the brain, studying the whole physiology of the human body. How muscles work, what muscles are used for this, what muscles are used for that. There's so much. It's such an open spectrum to progress, and not just one dimensional.
Right.
Focusing on money.
So I hope they're listening to you and soaking it in, that do not let money.
But nowadays, Tracy, like I watch the ads on YouTube.
Right.
And nowadays it's all about quick money, passive income. It's all about passive income. But no one's talking about passion. Passion
is absent. I agree with you. I hear about the passion.
All about passive income.
It's just about quick money. So there's no meaning behind it. Yeah, there's no meaning.
No one has, like, where are the Steve Jobs? Where are the inventors and creators?
Thank you.
Where are they? After Steve Jobs, who's gonna continue creating and developing and inventing? Where are our inventors? Where are our builders?
And the strange thing about that, Dean, while Joe or Jeremiah is waiting on the money or whatever else that they allowed to deter them, whatever else they allowed to deter them, another person might start off with the same concept, Dean, and be swept quite successful, and then you'll hear the, oh my God, look at this was my idea, or I should have tried this, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
So it brings me to our next question for you, Dean. You've given us a bit of your career life, your tennis. Can you share with us a personal experience that you had in recent times?
Yeah, over the past year, I was diagnosed with stage 5 renal failure.
Right.
Layman terms, my kidneys were not functioning as it normally would.
Right.
Because of my high blood pressure.
Right.
So now I have to be on dialysis 3 times a week, and I am in the prospect of working on kidney. Right. So I've had the great assistance of the renal department at OKU and Dr. Merle Clark in terms of educating me on the matter and pointing me in the right direction. And now I'm here in the US, working on getting on the list. And I'm hoping that one day St. Lucia will look into having a transplant program.
Right.
Because I have quite a few friends on dialysis in St. Lucia, and we need that. Now that I'm in it, it opens you up to a whole new world of, kidney disease.
Yes.
So it is so I'm out there, I'm out here hoping that I get a donor, a
Yes.
live donor,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
or deceased donor, or even back home a family member or friend would decide, hey, let me give you a kidney.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
one kidney is all I would need to jumpstart the other kidneys, so that I could live,
Right. Right. Right.
or I can continue living
Yes.
with my kidney. So, but I'm in high spirits. I mean, I live every single day as if it's my last,
Yes.
and I'm very grateful to be where I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy because I do enjoy life, and every bit of what it offers. Life is good, as you can see my little banner in the back.
Oh my
Life is
God, yes, you always high spirit, high spirit. I was
life
going
is
to
good.
ask you, yes, to let us know through this trying time, what is your inspiration? What keeps you going? I mean, overall, for those who know you, and I've known you for a while, you always have high spirits and positive energy. But sometimes you go through different things in life. Where do you find your inspiration during these
Life,
times? Yeah.
life. I wake up because I've always been high on life, and
Yes.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that, as you said rightfully, I have been very grateful to understand that high positive energy, no matter what you go through in
Right.
life. Just be
Right.
grateful. Be
Right.
grateful, be thankful, and you can't bring yourself down any towards trying to, 90% of or should I say 90% is what happens to you, but 10% is how you react, is how you respond. So, I use my little 10% I choose my little 10% because I love life, Tracy, and I'm very grateful. So, I'm very grateful to life, because I know when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, and you add a bit of vodka to it.
Yes, yes, yes.
You
Yes, so
know?
yeah, we have to wrap up now. I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to have you on this platform so you can share
I'm
with the
thankful.
viewers, yes, and persons who, may be going through similar situations as you and, just need a little nudge, a little push. So I want to let the viewers know that those that are interested in having tennis classes, I will link Dean's information below. He's currently operating from Atlanta, like you said, Dean. So as soon as I link the information, you'll reach out and then you'll y'all can connect. And as well, you guys know that I'm still operating as a self-discovery life coach. So I will leave my information. You guys know where to reach me. I am here to help you be your higher self. Yes. So Dean, thanks again. Peace and blessings.
And also, if you want to
donate.
donate,
One more note. Yes, you have one more thing to say.
If you want to donate a kidney, I am O positive.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's very important. And Dean, coming to think about it, maybe we should have another session where we go deep into, so you can give us some more detail of the whole, the kidney, because not many people are aware and know what it is, Dean.
Right.
So we always want to bring awareness. So I would love to have you on again, but this time we will zone in on the condition, the symptoms, how you can go through it, what you need, medication, all that good stuff. Yeah. So Dean, thanks again. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Love and light.
Love and light. All righty.